Hello YouTube. I'm back again. Today I want to basically talk about how history is going to look at what we live through right now. I mean, you know how we look back on the old Roman Empire or the Greek Empire or the the British Empire or Spanish Empire. They disappeared. Nobody talks about Spain. The French. I mean, are they going to talk about us, Americans, in the same way in the past tense? Because what's going on now? I mean, let's face it. Us as an empire, like we used to be, we're through. I mean, we still a major power, but we're not the greatest power in the world anymore. We just can't seem to get our stuff together, and we got too many how could I say domestic issues to deal with in order for us to keep growing at the pace we were growing at. We can't seem to pull ourselves together. Now it seems that we got too big as a country that everybody wants to tear us apart, including ourselves. It seems like we like what the little amoebas, the amoebas. They start to split and split and split, and that's what it seems like happening to us as America. I'm speaking as a country as a whole. I mean, we got so much stuff going on out here that we can't see what's in front of us, and then we can't see how we finna actually dissolve, as I should say. You drop one of them things in some alcohol and they'll just shrivel up. So we're in trouble. First of all, we need to take care of our domestic issues here first before we start fooling around in everybody else's problems. But we don't do it. We keep getting caught up in these endless wars. That's what the president called them, endless wars, because it's good for the economy and the rich get richer. And that's why we get involved in those, because they keep throwing us in there. But what can I say? I'm just a pawn in this long game that they playing, and that the long game is heading to an end pretty soon, and that everybody gonna see what I see, and then we'll realize that we were all being played. And that's the sad part about it, that we don't recognize the true enemy. But history gonna look back, because they always say history is always written by the victors. They're gonna look back and they're gonna say that this was some terrible times, turbulent times. It was the third age of man, and it was changing, and that's why we had to do this in order for us to get to the next step in mankind's history, which is space. What they say is space, the final frontier. But we heading that way. I mean, you just look. All you got to do is look and hear and listen to what is being said, what is being done. You got so much that is out here that's trying to manipulate the people, to manipulate the U.S., and that we don't even see it. They are starting to draft women. Alaska Prepper mentioned it the other day, but I had heard it already that they was gonna start drafting women. Okay, they're gonna draft women. They trying to increase the participation in the Space Force. They running commercials now, wanting their young men and young women to join the Space Force. They just shot up a rocket the other day. NASA did a military rocket. Supposedly had a military satellite on it, but it didn't work out too well. But they did. They know that this planet is dying, and that we're killing it, but they want us to die along with the planet. They're not going to tell us. A lot of the activists get out there and say, yes, it's global warming, this, that, and the other. But our leaders, and it's been going on for decades, not just this year, not just last year, it's been going on for decades, that our leaders have not found a way to protect the people when natural disasters happen. People have to wait months, weeks for electricity after a hurricane or a tornado or something hit, people have to wait. I mean, there is no fast response for this stuff when it happens, and you would think that the government see this happening on a regular basis, that they would go ahead and start building. Like we got a military, they would start building something that would have people ready, set, and go at a moment's notice. You know, we have forest fires. We basically got to get forest fighters from and people from other states to come in to help those guys. And you know where the fires and the hot spots are at, and you would think that they would have a standing crew. Like we have a standing military, we think they would have a standing crew of thousands of people ready to go at an instant. But they procrastinate. And you said the same thing about tornadoes. You would think they would have a standing crew, but they got standing crew all right. Don't get me wrong. FEMA got people that's standing by, and they're gonna write you that check. But the check don't seem to heal the pain. They give you money so you can go out and try to find a new place to live while your old place is underwater or totally, completely damaged to the point where it can't be replaced, or they're going to put you up in one of them FEMA trailers. Last time they used those FEMA trailers, they found out that they had such a high level of arsenic and lead in there that people were actually getting sick and almost dying. But so I'm just saying, and I always say that you can only depend on yourself. And when history look back on this, and people gonna say why, and start questioning how come that they didn't prepare and they knew this was coming, we can go back, let's say 16 years ago, when Katrina hit, and how they put them people in the Superdome and the senior citizens were left to die. And now they turned around and they did the exact damn thing. They put some senior citizens in a warehouse and a bunch of them died. Lesson learned. I should say lesson not learned. But it's been a miserable decade. Really a miserable decade. And it's going to mislead a lot of people. And a lot of people thinking everything is okay. But somewhere down the line, accountability have to be paid for what's going on with us here in this planet and this weather situation and this historical stuff that's going on. Like I say, history is not going to look kindly back on this. You know, it's just like the Dust Bowl. They don't even want to talk about the Dust Bowl anymore. They don't even want to acknowledge that it happened. And it's the same thing we going through now with all this stuff that's happening. You know, the plagues, the wind and the rain and the snow and the storms and the violence. You know, people killing each other on a random basis because they can. In history, like I say, this is about the history, how they gonna look at it, how they gonna look back from the future. Our grandkids gonna look back on it because our kids are not gonna really care. They're gonna think it's the greatest time in the world. But when our grandkids look back on this time, like we look back on a time when we were kids, and we look back on people in the history, we say, how did they make it? How did they live through that? See, because the kids now and the grandkids in the future, they're all gonna be brainwashed. And that's what they want. They ain't gonna know how it was to do anything except eat fake meat, work fake jobs, get free money, and just be there. I mean, they're not gonna be any use to anybody. They're just gonna be like cattle. And I hate to say that. And they're gonna be controlled by, let's say, I don't want to say reptilian overlords, but I'm gonna just say the New World Order. Okay. All right. I just wanted to say that because I was just sitting up here and I was watching, like I said, I was watching a few videos today, and I finished up watching what was this? It was Native and Deval. I was watching Native and Deval, and he was saying that got to depend on yourself basically, and the whole other a bunch of stuff about trying to escape and fortify your area and all that stuff. It was a good video, about 3 hours he was talking. I caught the last hour of it basically, but like I said, there's no help. You looking at the help, you looking in the mirror. If all you got to do is take care of yourself. I think since YouTube always messing with my channel about UFOs and lizard people and any kind of stuff like that, I think I might do a zombie thing Thursday. I'm thinking zombies. Thinking, since I'm elderly, considered disabled, and maybe I talk about how I'm gonna survive a zombie attack. It ain't gonna be with cardio, I can tell you that. Because Fear the Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead is out again. So I think this Thursday at 2 o'clock. I think I'll do zombies. Talk about zombies. I like zombies. Well, I don't like zombies, but zombies coming out. But like I said, history is not gonna look kindly back on what's going on here. You know what I mean? This whole decade worth of BS and everything that was happening, that everybody knew what was going on, but nobody wanted to do anything. History is going to look back on this, and it's going to be a shame. You know how they look back on the decades? They tell you, well, the 60s was this, and the 70s was that, and the 80s, and then at the 90s, and they're going to look back on the 2000s and 2010, and they're going to look on it and say that they should just wipe it off the board. All right, but that's it. So thank you, YouTube. I'll see you.